Welcome. We'll get started in just a second. Forgive my audio. I'll get a microphone and set it up so it sounds a lot better. But for now, all that's important. All right. I like my little intro music to start off. So today, I am going to be discussing the scope of marketing. And so, if you joined me for my last meeting, I really broke down the concept of what marketing is and why it's important for business owners. Um, but I'm constantly having meetings with business owners, and I still believe that they're not understanding the scope of marketing and what it truly is. And so I am going to start educating. And so you guys have a better idea and you can make an educated decision of whether or not you want to hire someone to do your marketing for you, or if you're going to learn the nuts and bolts of how to do it. And so to begin, I need to introduce myself for anybody that might be watching this that doesn't know who I am. My name is JJ Johnson. I have been marketing for over 7 years. I've owned a digital marketing agency where I've helped small to medium businesses grow their digital presence through all different ways. These are some of the companies that I've worked with in the past. I've done campaigns for politicians, nonprofits, restaurants, you name it, medical spas, the whole gamut of different businesses, helping them grow, helping them communicate, and helping them connect with customers. And so I am truly passionate about what I do. So much that I want to create videos so you guys learn exactly what it takes to be a marketer. And so, in order to understand what marketing is, I need to give you guys the definition. And there's several different definitions of what marketing is. I am currently in graduate school, and so I always have heavy textbooks. And this is kind of the holy grail of marketing. It's called Marketing Management by Coulter Keller, who is a world-renowned marketer, travels all over the world discussing these concepts. And he created an insanely thick book that encompasses all of the marketing terms that are currently used. It's actually pretty up to date. To my surprise, it talks about social media in here. And so this is definitely a new addition. And so a lot of the content that I'll be discussing, I will be taking right out of this textbook. And so you are getting an MBA degree for free. You're welcome. But, anyways, the book defines marketing in a lot of different ways. And I like to make it more simple, but then also more complicated too, as well, more in depth. And so, one of the definitions the book outlines is that marketing is identifying and meeting human and social needs. And what I have really loved to learn about marketing is how impactful marketing and marketers are. Marketers create jobs. They sustain businesses. And marketing also addresses human and social needs. The second definition of marketing is that it's meeting needs in a profitable way. Um, every time someone hires a marketer, they're always wondering how much is it going to cost me and am I going to make my money back? And at the core of marketing, the answer should be yes. It doesn't always work out that way. But a skilled marketer should be meeting the needs of an organization or a community and making it profitable so you're not at a deficit. And then the third is more of an academic definition that the American Marketing Association would define marketing as the activity and process for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value, keyword, for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. All right, so why do you even need to know what marketing is? The reason you need to know this is because you need to know how to grow your business, right? Um, A lot of businesses I've noticed are on hamster wheels with their social media marketing. They're not meeting the needs of their core customer, and they're surely not profitable when they're doing it. And so, understanding the definition of marketing is super important. The value for customers. Is your company or product or service creating value? If it's not, you might need to consider what you're doing as a business owner and as a business. All right, awesome. So now we kind of know what the definition is of marketing. What is marketed? What is out there that can be marketed? And the book lays it out in 10 main types of entities that can be marketed. So I think that the most common thing that is marketed is obviously goods. You see toilet paper, pencils, vehicles, things like that, consumer goods. The next, probably most popular, would be services. So that would be dentists, chiropractors, marketing agents, things like that. The next, probably most popular, would be events, experiences, persons, places, properties, organizations, information, and ideas. So these 10 main entities is usually what follows under what things can be marketed. This is important to know as a business owner because once you are able to identify what niche you're in, you'll be able to market more clearly. Okay, so if you are a business and you sell a consumer good, you're in the goods category, and then you can kind of follow the cadence that you need to follow in order to sell your goods. It's going to be a different strategy for someone that is in the service industry, or maybe they market business to business. And so these are all important things for you to know so you can organize and clarify your message and hopefully make more moolah. Okay, so next we will be going over who markets. And so quite naturally, everyone can market, but what ends up happening is that not everyone is effective at marketing. But at the general sense of the term, a marketer is someone who seeks a response, attention, a purchase, a vote, a donation from a third party, which we call a prospect. And so, my little kiddos the other day, it snowed where we're at, and they came up with a great idea of going to neighbors' houses and asking to shovel their sidewalk for a profit. And what they were doing was they were marketing a service in order to make money. And so, in that instance, they were a marketer. You could think that some people online are just wasting their time, but what they're actually doing is they're being a marketer in garnishing attention, which is actually very powerful nowadays. And so a marketer is someone who seeks a response from a prospect. I like to be more of a marketer than a prospect, but I definitely am a prospect. I love to shop. I love to shop online, but I want to be more of a marketer than a prospect for sure. And then who markets? It's a marketer who is skilled at stimulating demand for their products, but that's a limited view of what they do. They also seek to influence the level, timing, and composition of demand to meet the organizational's objective. And then I will go in and describe the 8 different demands that there are. But it's really important because I will go into a meeting and businesses are always wanting to know what is their return on investment for marketing. And I don't believe that they're fully understanding the entire role that a marketer does. They're encompassing and creating a narrative and a story, and then they're having to actualize it in the real world. And it's a true skill. A skilled marketer will be able to take a company that has been poorly communicating, sit down, have a few painstakingly long meetings with the business owner to better understand who they are, who their core customer is, and then essentially paint a picture that will eventually get them money if they're good at it. And so it is a enormous task that a marketer will do, especially if a company comes to an agency at a deficit already, because there's a lot of things that you have to go back and undo. It's like trying to date a new girl that has had a bunch of bad relationships. A business that has had a bunch of bad relationships with customers will come to a marketer and say, "Hey, I'm giving you 90 days to fix this. Good luck." And it really can be an uphill battle. And so, just the stimulating the demand or getting a call to action out of a consumer is just literally one aspect of what a marketer does. A skilled marketer should be influencing the customer base, also creating relationships. And that is really what we are gearing towards now in the future. In the past, influencer marketing was something that was insanely popular, but now it's going to be something that isn't gonna be as widely used. I mean, people will probably still use it really heavily, but there's this level of skepticism now. People are seeing through the smoke, um, and sometimes the lies. And you're really going to have to come up with a robust strategy to get through the nonsense. And it's going to take a lot more than hiring a pretty influencer to sell your product. You need to really prove that what you're saying about your brand and company is true for people to spend their money on your product. And so if you don't have a plan or a strategy that you're committed to, it can be a really uphill battle, especially with the consumer being so savvy. Um, they can research anything that they want to verify if things are correct. And there's so much competition. And so, how are you going to stand out if you don't have a strategy? For real. Okay, so the traditional term of a market was actually a physical place where buyers and sellers gathered to sell and to exchange and to buy. And so that is the traditional sense of what a market is. The term marketer actually isn't in the dictionary. Or it wasn't, I think, circa like 1930s or something like that, and it's since been added. But it essentially is assisting in the traditional market. And what we've now created is four key customer markets. And those are consumer markets, business markets, global markets, and nonprofit and government markets. Before we get there, I want to circle back to what I was going to say, but I missed it, was the 8 demands that are possible, when you are marketing, because I found these very interesting, and so I'm gonna read them out of my book. And so there's 8 demands, and then I'm gonna give you the definition, and then if you have a business or a product, sit and think about where you are at right now in your business, and where do you identify with, and is it where you want to be? And if it's not, what do you need to get there? So the first one is negative demand. So a consumer dislikes the product and may even pay to avoid it. If you are in that position, that's not good at all. All right, number two, non existent demand. Consumers may be unaware or uninterested in the product. This is usually where I come in for businesses, is that they are essentially non existent to their ideal customer base. And so it's my job to stimulate that demand and influence. And so that one is quite common, the non existent demand. The second is the latent demand, LATENT demand. Consumers may share a strong need that cannot be satisfied by an existing product. This is probably a really great place to be, is that you're realizing that a product is obsolete. And so you're going to create something new that solves a problem. And then you probably will get booming if it actually is a great product. The next demand, number four, is declining demand. This is when the consumer begins to buy the product less frequently or not at all. And so you start at the top and then you're just slowly coming down. It's also important to know where you're at in the demand cycle because you can come to a marketer for help and say, hey, listen, I've got a product. We started off really, really strong and now it's declining. And then the marketer can go do research. Okay, this is in declining demand. I have a strategy for this. The next one, number 5, is irregular demand. This is when consumers purchase a variety of different ways, which is seasonal, monthly, weekly, daily, or even on an hourly basis. So it's irregular. That would also call for a different type of strategy. Number 6 is full demand. This is when the consumers are adequately buying all products put into the marketplace, and that is a sweet place to be, is on full demand. Number 7 is overflow demand, which is more consumers would like to buy the product that then can be satisfied. This sounds like a good place to be. However, this, I think, would cause more, dissatisfaction than dollars in your bank, and so I feel like it would probably ultimately be a detriment to the business, but that is number 7, which is overfull of demand, and number 8 is the unwholesome demand, which no company wants to be in. This is when the consumer may be attracted to the product, but then they have an undesirable outcome, or they find that the company has done something socially that is undesirable. This could be also a company that maybe has some harsh environmental effects that are later found out. And so they would be categorized as the unwholesome demand. And so I wanted to go back and circle because those demands I think are important to understand. All right, so now we talked about key customer markets. You have consumer market, you have the business market, you have a global market, and then you have the nonprofit or governmental markets. Why is it important to know what market you're in? Because you need to know your audience. You literally need to know every nuance of your business, where you fall in line, who are your competitors, who is your ideal customer, what are your core customer marketplaces that you are in. Just because you have a consumer product and you may be in the consumer market does not mean that you're in the global market, right? And so you need to understand those different um, distinctions so you can come up with a strategy that's actually effective. And so I went through a lot of information today about the scope of marketing. You learn the term for the word marketing, you understand what a marketer does. You also know the type of demands that come in the marketplace, and then also where are consumers buying. There's 4 key consumer markets. And so hopefully that provided some clarity. So now you can go back into your business, think about these terms and see where you fall in line and start coming up with strategies. If this is something that you're like, you know what, this is a lot more than I thought it was, I need to hire an expert, send me a message, send me a DM, whatever you need to do. I always do a free consultation to understand your business more. And if I can't serve your needs, I have such a vast marketplace where I can find someone to help. But do not prolong this piece of marketing any longer. The competition is not going to get any smaller. It's probably going to get even greater. And so, getting a wrap on your marketing is going to be imperative for the growth of your business. And so, if you're watching this video, you're starting on the right foot, but get help if you need it. I hope this video helped you and stay tuned for more. Thank you so much. Gotta put my music on. Have a good